Today, I want to talk to you about a really hot topic in society: why citizens should have the right to own firearms. Firearms can have many purposes. One can be to protect you and your family from any harm. Another purpose can be to be familiar with the use of firearms. And then a third would be for sporting enjoyment, such as hunting or target shooting. And then a fourth purpose that people own firearms is for collection. So, a lot of the things I'm going to talk about today will probably tie into one another. Next, I'm going to talk about the advantages. Protection. That was my first point that I made whenever I first started talking about owning firearms. If someone were to come into your house today, how would you protect you and your family? What if the person that came into your home had a firearm and was threatening you or your family? If you have a firearm, even if not using it to harm another person, it's a good tool to protect yourself. Another point that I made previously is for safety. I know you're thinking, wow, this is crazy, she's talking about safety whenever it's such a dangerous object. But as a child, I was raised in a house where there were guns. There was a gun cabinet filled with guns, but it was always locked. I wasn't able to touch them. But as I grew up, I was taught on how to use these guns and the safety mechanisms of them, so that if I ever did come across a gun, I would know how to use it safely. Another purpose is enjoyment. So many people around the area that I live in enjoy hunting. It's a means to get food for your family, and it's a great sporting activity to do with your family. Something that I enjoy doing myself is target shooting. We have a local gun range, and I like to go down and I like to shoot at targets just to see how well I do. Again, I already mentioned about gaining a food source from the hunting. Some people don't have the money to go out and buy meat constantly. And whenever you hunt, you can get your deer butchered, and then you have a meat source there. And it's also a symbol of freedom for our country. Our founders of our country worked very hard to get that right for us, and I think that we should use it. Some examples of different ways that you can use a gun. Once I was coming home late at night, and there was a raccoon in the yard, and this raccoon was chasing basically me and my family. And this raccoon probably was rabid, and we shot it because it was protecting us. Again, I mentioned about a child finding a gun. If a child knows how to use the gun, or they at least know some kind of safety mechanism, they won't touch it. And then again, deterring a criminal that is armed. Even if you don't shoot at them knowing you have the presence of a gun will probably keep them away. Just some statistics about gun ownership to conclude is that 44% of people already own guns, 60% for the purpose of protection, 36% for hunting, and 21% for target shooting. So having a gun in your house isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's good.